we mulifande tumendela mama dabo shua. To you all for the community in Zambia. Good evening. Is a few minutes after 20 hours, and today we have a very important discussion that we are making today. This regards the new cyber crimes that have been passed in our country. They are very draconian in nature, and we'll go in details. It's just not the two cyber crimes that you've heard about. There are associated bills that have also been passed simultaneously that will affect the state of our democracy in our country, the state of freedom of expression, freedom to hold opinion, freedom to express yourself, and freedom of the media. The bills are far-reaching, that they even affect your right to privacy. So we'll go in details. But as usual, first, let's discuss the current issues. The body of Mama Edith Nawakwi arrived today at Lusaka International Airport, and there'll be a required mass tomorrow. There's a bit of serious contest here. As usual, like they did to the memorial of Zambia's fifth president, Michael Sata, government has insisted that this funeral be held at the Anglican Church. But Madam Edith Nawakwi was Catholic, and the Catholic don't understand how they have to take a body to the Anglican cathedral, and instead of the Cathedral of the Child Jesus, why is Cabinet Office, why is government, why is State House adamant? Is it because the Archbishop who sits in Lusaka at the Lusaka Cathedral is someone they do not like, they do not want? Come on, you have to, at least you have to respect the faith of the departed. Madam Edith Nawakwi was Catholic, and she deserves to, her last rites should be done in the Catholic Church. Let me get the views of the Catholic priest who's based in Italy, Father Mwansa Pombo, a beloved a brother of ours who usually comments about matters in Zambia, but he's made an address to the Catholic Church and that they should take center stage. It should not be given the window of the PF to demand that Edith Nawakwi should be taken to a Catholic church. Just listen to this.
I forgot another thing. Now this word, I think I'm going to address it to my bishops. I call both my bishops because I belong to the Ndola Diocese, so Bishop Piri, and also Lusaka Diocese, Archbishop Banda. So to Archbishop Pili and Archbishop Banda. This is the Catechism of the Catholic Church, this one. Okay, this is Catechism of the Catholic Church. Now, in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, when we are celebrating the Requiem Mass, we do the profession of faith. The congregation at a certain time does the profession of faith. And in the celebration, we also give the faithful the Holy Communion. My Lordship, Bishop Piri and Bishop Banda, you know very well that the Holy Communion, if one is not in communion, fully communion, we cannot receive the Holy Communion. The Catholic Church is not in full communion with the Anglican Church. That is the Second Vatican Council statement. If we are not in full communion with the Anglican Church, how can you go and celebrate the Eucharist in an Anglican church? On which table are you going to bless the Eucharist? How do you give the Holy Communion in an Anglican church? Please. Bakangwa, Badorisi Mwamba, Bamutati, Muni Bakatolika, help the readers, please. Please.
How are you?
I'm very well, Mr. President.
I sacked a lot of dust yesterday. I went around.
I saw.
Yes, you're okay.
I'm very well. Yourself?
President, welcome back.
Good.
Other than sleep a bit.
Yeah, it was a good tour you did all these
Yes,
days.
yes.
I hope you saw all the things that needed to be done.
Still we are funding 30 years ago. You know what those guys did? That went up. They went from the end of create process. something here, leave it, but take out $100 million, $200 million.
Like the hospitals, nothing is completed.
That's what we're doing now. The money is taken out, South and lower rate, we paid $30 million, not even a meter of them.
What about that university in Lula? FTJ, yeah.
32 million.
No, not even one.
So these projects were funded.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I played the video from Father Mwamba Pombo from Italy, who said, look, the relationship between the Catholic and the Anglican, we are not sister churches. We are different denominations, different churches, and you cannot take and do the Catholic rites to a person in, a place where they are not. They do not congregate. I think it's imperative that Cabinet Office listens, one, to the family, two, respects Mama Edith Nawakwi and takes the body and the required mass at the Cathedral of the Child Jesus. They shouldn't take it to the argument that the Cathedral of the Holy Cross belonging to the Anglican is a national events place, and especially where the president will come or the vice president will come. Besides, we've seen the notice, it appears even the president will not be there because he's expected in Kabwe to commission officers. So what's the justification of taking to the Anglican cathedral? Even if the president was available, the president should go to the Cathedral of the Child Jesus. Respect the wishes of Mama Edith Nawakwi. Do not violate her in life, and then you violate her even in death. That's more cruel. That's a terrible legacy. While on one hand, you are pretending to be according to all the official statuses, but you are failing to respect a fundamental right of being a Catholic. So we should make it very, very clear that Cabinet Office must make those changes and ensures that the body of Mama Edith goes to the Cathedral of the Child Jesus, as our wishes would have been in life or in death. I showed the next video of the president arriving at Sierra Resort in Chongwe area. The president was commissioning some event there, a land-linked Zambia. I think Zambia and Angola, there was a conference that was being held. And I showed that video. And then I discussed that when I raised this matter in 2023, the Minister of Defense said I was lying. I said government had bought a brand new helicopter besides the other presidential helicopters we've had. And the Minister of Defense said Emmanuel Mwamba is lying, and he refused to acknowledge that they had bought a brand new helicopter. That was 2023. They had bought a brand new helicopter at the price of around $15 million. And I published it on my page in 2023. And the Minister of Defense, Ambrose Lufuma, refused. He said, no, they just hired the helicopter because the presidential helicopter, the one in copper, had gone for service. But as you've seen recently and over the last 2 years, that helicopter is part of the fleet. Our assertions that this helicopter was bought by the president was correct then and is correct now. It has a Zambian number plate, they call them tail numbers, ABJ 9J-10. It cannot have a number plate that is Zambian if it is a plane for lease. It's a plane or helicopter for the Zambian government. It cannot have it cannot have a local registered number. You've seen the president was opening Mwami border and they hired a helicopter from Livingstone. That helicopter kept its original tail numbers. You've seen the president go to Namibia, go to Dubai, go to Europe, go to China on hired executive jet, and they retained their original numbers. Why I'd exposed that was that why hire or lease planes when you have a brand new, in the case of for foreign trips, you have a brand new jet, the Gulfstream G650, rotting, sitting in the hangars because you don't like it, because it was bought by Edgar Lungu. Why spend more money, millions of dollars, hiring a plane? And then you already have the copper color, is relatively brand new in aeroplane or plane mods, because it was bought by President Levi Mwanawasa, the one in copper, you know, the AWB9J.ZAM, you've seen it is painted in copper. That's the presidential plane we've had. So the president bought a brand new one, ABJ9J.10. Now, why am I saying this? Is that this man, Clayson Hamasaka, chief, communications specialist at State House, has issued a long article threatening me, threatening that he will have me extradited to wherever he thinks I am hiding. He's threatened me that I'm endangering national security by, first of all, showing the video of the president. And secondly, I'm discussing the details of his plan, his so-called vessel, and that I'm not supposed to discuss the air assets of the president. Of course, that doesn't make sense. President Hakainde Hichilema himself spent a lot of time discussing the purchase of the plane that was done by the president, by President Edgar Lungu, when they bought the Gulfstream G650. President Hakainde Hichilema went to town about that plane, even made campaign promises. But Clayson Hamasaka has threatened me. He says he will get to me. I can't hide anywhere. I'm a former ambassador, and I should know that if the state are looking for me, the state will get me. Those are the threats from Clayson Hamasaka. He's just, was recently accused of having abducted Emmanuel J. Banda. And those that abducted him are said to have, violated Emmanuel J. Banda, former Petauke Central. Remember, they violated and sexually abused him and raped him, So the threats from Clayson Hamasaka should not be taken lightly. That's not the purpose of our discussion. Those were highlights, like we always start. So we're discussing the arrival of the remains of Honorable Edith Zoelani Nawakwi. The remains arrived at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport today. The funeral and burial is set for tomorrow. There's contest about where the required mass should be. She was Catholic. I think she deserves that her rites are done under the Catholic Church, not under the Anglican. With due respect, we respect the Anglican Church. I think it has done a wonderful job. It has become a center and part of the national character of our life. But it should not be reason and justification to violate Madam Edith Nawakwi. You violated our rights. You subjected her to numerous arrests. And just last month, the state applied that they will move to her bedroom and prosecute her from her bedroom. And they wanted the magistrate, court clerks, court documents, lawyers to move to Madam Edith Nawakwi's bedroom so that they could prosecute her. They thought she was lying when the lawyers stated that she was suffering from a terminal disease. And as we've seen, barely a month later, we've lost her. But the state violated her rights, humiliated her in life, and they should not humiliate her in death. I think that's very, very important. And then Clayson Hamasaka's threats, because I've said the presidency bought a new helicopter, which is part of the new fleet, and AB9J10, and we already have 2 other presidential helicopters. And I'd asked, why buy brand new helicopter when you already have 2 others? And we saw the president, even hire one from Livingstone. Why? When you have two presidential, like we have the Gulf Stream, again, we are being subjected to, in this case, they've bought a brand new helicopter since 2023. And the Minister of Defense denied that I was scandalizing the presidency. I was lying. That plane was just on lease briefly because the presidential helicopter had gone for technical service. It was not to be. Let me play this last video, then we begin our discussion.
They even insulted God, but Moses believed in God. Probably this is also a moment of time when we are going through trials and tribulations or difficulties in our own societies, in our own country, in our own homes, to believe more in God and to trust in God that God will do it for us. Probably some of us are wondering that those people we voted in power, they have turned against us. They are speaking against us. They are gone against us. But who put them in power in the first place? It is God, because God is the creator of all of us. God has created us, and God has given us, and the authority comes from God. Why don't we believe in God? That the same God who put them in power, He will remove them, whatever happens. So my word of consolation to you and to everyone is that God will do it for us. We should believe in Him. That is why in our churches there is always a Jesus who is crucified on the cross there, where He is crucified, our source of hope, our source of consolation, our liberator. He is the one who saves us, and He will save us again. He will do it for us. We shouldn't worry, but believe and pray. And go back to Him and say, dear Lord, the people You gave us to lead us, to rule us, have turned against You. They have sinned against You. May You set us free. May You liberate us. He will set us free. He will liberate us the way He liberated the children of Israel. I wonder why there's all this agitation, all this fear. Fear of what? Believe in God. We should believe in God. He will do it for you, and He will do it for me. That is why it requires faith. Let us have faith in God, the one we come to receive every day in the Blessed Eucharist, who is present. He will do it for you, and He will do it for us.
Thank you very much. Let's start our discussion. Government recently passed a raft of bills. They are very serious, and they require that we discuss them so that we understand the extent of President Hakainde's Ichilema's stranglehold on our democracy. Is taking away our freedom of expression, our freedom to hold opinions, our freedom to privacy, our freedoms, literally our rights and freedoms as guaranteed under the current constitution and by our democracy. I bet if we took these laws for challenge, they probably would be found to have violated a lot of our bills of right, the charter, the human rights charter that we have. So government has passed the Non-Governmental Bill 2025. This is an amendment to the 2025, but they are creating a registrar of NGOs, an NGO that will regulate civil society. Here is threatened. Civil society may die. They've passed the closed circuit television public protection bill 2025. This bill is so far reaching that they can come and demand in your private CCTV that you have at home, you are obliged to give the law enforcement agencies the recordings, and if you delete it, you can be subjected to serious prosecution. Your own CCTV at your shop or at your premises under what they are calling public interest. If you deleted it, you'll be prosecuted. They've passed the Anti-Terrorism and Non-proliferation Bill amendment. We had something, earlier. They've done some far-reaching amendments. If you look at this law, we are all now terrorists. You need to take interest, and you can go to jail for life. We are literally terrorists. If you see the wording, what they are categorizing as terrorism, you'll be shocked. It's just about freedom of expression, hate speech, and you can be taken for life. They'll just accuse you of endangering the presidency, endangering the nation. The wording that they've introduced in the Anti-Terrorism and Non-Proliferation Bill, in fact, make all of us that comment about public affairs become terrorists. It's not even about the conventional and traditional terrorists you know. They've passed the Cyber Crimes Bill of 2024 and the Cyber Security Bill number 29 of 2024. These two also have gone, we've discussed them before. But let me now break down the threats that has occurred to democracy. And after my discussion, I'll open the phone lines and you'll be able to join and make contributions. We'll not make the broadcast very long. I want you to come in quickly and begin to participate. But let me highlight how these new laws, while we are complaining about cost of living, the state of the economy, we are saying alea. President Hakainde Hichilema with his team have been very busy making alea very impossible. They are going to shut down democracy. They are going to shut down freedom of expression. They are going to shut down even the media as you know it. If these laws are implemented, they've been enacted. They are waiting for presidential assent. The laws are so far-reaching, I challenge you that they are shutting down our democracy. While we have been busy discussing other matters, no, the president is at Unza, is where he has been busy crafting laws, closing down our democratic space. Let me start with the NGO Bill of 2025. This is an amendment to the 2009 Act. All these bills you can, as I'm discussing, you can download them at the parliamentary website. They've all been listed, and they've been passed, and they've gone to presidential assent. So the NGO bill, Non-Governmental Organization Bill of 2025, number one is creating an office of the Registrar of Non-Government Organization. It will provide for registration of NGOs, its licensing and approval and revocation. Similar to the powers of the Registrar of Societies, that is under Registrar. Currently, the Registrar of Societies regulates political parties, NGOs, and all societies, including the church. In this case, the civil society aspect, where they think the vocal minority come from, is now being taken to the NGO, under the NGO Act, to the Registrar of Non-Governmental Organization. And this is a man that will begin to give you license. Currently, I just need to go to the Registrar of Societies, fill in some forms, pay some nominal fee, and become, for my NGOs, from when President Hakainde Hichilema assents this law, that will no longer be. You'll be required to go to the non-government organization. Currently, I can even register an NGO under PACRA as a not-for-profit organization, as a non-profit organization. And there are many NGOs that bypassed the Registrar of Societies and went to PACRA and registered, limited company by liability, non-governmental organizations, not for profit. That there is room to register trusts, foundations, and the civil society in Zambia that are very vocal found it easier than to go to the Registrar of Societies. They just went and formed a company, but a not-for-profit company. All that, when President Hakainde Hichilema assents or sees, you all have to go to the Registrar of NGOs, who will then license you, who will then approve your NGO. We might as well forget about NGOs. And then they are forming what they are calling a Zambia Congress of NGOs. So all these NGOs in Zambia have to belong to the Zambia Congress of NGOs. That's a form of regulation. They will tell you that is self-regulation. So all NGOs in Zambia, all civil society groupings, will be now under the umbrella of Zambia Congress of NGOs. And that body who then can outlaw you, can debar you, can stop you, can recommend to the Registrar of NGOs to revoke you by you. So with the way President Hakainde Hichilema is going, you can clearly see where we are going. You can clearly see where we're going. This is a shutdown of our democracy. Civil society have been a very key component in keeping freedom of expression, in keeping being a voice for the voiceless, in providing checks and balances for government. Here, they'll be regulated. It sounds funny or it sounds attractive that they'll be self-regulated. No, they are forming a form of ZCTU, but in this case it's called ZCN. The Zambia Congress of NGOs is being formed by this act, and all NGOs will be grouped together, regulated by the Zambia Congress of NGOs. So it doesn't matter who and what you are, unless you are LAS who have a separate act of parliament, unless you are the Red Cross. But all these NGOs, whoever falls under the umbrella of a civil society and NGO, you will now be under this Zambia Congress of NGOs. And we know what will happen. Government will hijack it, then they'll pick and point who should be a member of civil society, who should be a member of NGOs in Zambia. Like I stated, that the NGO Bill of 2025 is far-reaching. It has amended earlier attempts to regulate NGOs. There was a non-governmental organization of 2009 that was started by President Rupia Banda and Musokotwane. At the time, this Musokotwane Reyes is head again. They had attempted, at that time, the IMF wanted NGOs to be part of government. You know, USAID is an NGO, but it's a government institution. So they wanted to provide and group funds and other donors where they give it to government and government allocates. That was the birth of that non-government organization bill of 2009. This was to provide funding, local and foreign funding, to be centralized under the Ministry of Finance. Then they were going to begin to allocate. That was the purpose of that. NGOs refused. They wanted their autonomy. And this law has never been fully implemented. President Hakainde Hichilema has brought far-reaching changes to the NGO Bill of 2025 to amend the NGO Act of 2009. The Closed Circuit Television Public Protection Bill has also been passed. Now, they are saying this is to secure the country, that they are going to put cameras across the country. But it's the provisions that are there that are far-reaching. They'll create a National Public Security Command Center. The National Public Security Command Center will regulate closed-circuit television, mobile ones, and private ones. So it doesn't matter if your CCTV you think it is yours. It's no longer yours when this law is passed. They can come and demand recordings. They can come and demand requirements. There are also extensive provisions under the Closed-Circuit Television Public Protection Bill, which for me is encroaching and invading in the right to privacy. They will literally open up our country, and you cannot question why they are filming you or where they've taken the material. They've even provided for protection of that material, both public and private. And as you will see in other laws, because these laws are speaking to each other, the cyber crimes bill and the cybersecurity bill are even preventing you from deleting your own messages. If the state is interested in a message in your phone, they suspect that it's in your phone, you cannot delete it. If you delete it, you can go in for 5 years. I'll discuss that later. They've passed the Anti-Terrorism and Non-Proliferation Amendment Bill of 2024. Like I said, this is an amendment to the earlier Anti-Terrorism Bill law that we already have. But the danger with this is they've brought issues of freedom of expression. Fidabalan, that you are alarming the country, that you are telling lies, that you are propagating falsehood. All those issues now, all freedom of expression issues or freedom of expression so-called offenses, hate speech, have been brought under the Anti-Terrorism and Non-Proliferation Amendment Bill of 2024. What they've done is to criminalize speech and make it now a terrorism offense. So it is an extraditable offense, meaning they can ask for your extradition because they'll call you a local terrorist, that you've caused potential danger to life, to the president, to government, to the republic, and therefore you should be extradited. So the issues we're talking about, false news, propagating falsehood, issuing hate speech, these have been imported in the Anti-Terrorism and Non-Proliferation Amendment Bill of 2024. As I am speaking, go to the National Assembly website, download the bills I'm talking about, so that as you discuss, you can actually even be referring, you can even refer to the clauses I'm warning about, so that no one accuses us that we are peddling lies. Have a copy just now. Go and download these bills. Then you can call. And you can go in for life imprisonment. So there is reference to the protection of nuclear material. Well, this is proper because this is a terrorism issue. We have nuclear material that is being mined, I think at Kalumbila. We have uranium. We have uranium that was discovered in Siavonga and in Mazabuka. So there is a long reference to nuclear materials and how they should be protected. I don't know if they'll outlaw mining. I have no understanding yet. I haven't researched to that extent. Then, remember what I was talking about. If you've committed these offenses and they think that someone is funding you, they've categorized that under financial sanctions. That if they find that someone is funding anyone who's propagating their so-called new terrorism. So, Badamupela talk time, Wasa Musanga, Nachta he issue what they would categorize as terrorism. The person who gave that person talk time, you are all going in for life because they will accuse you of financing terrorism. And the perpetrator of the so-called local terrorism will also go in for life. So there is just not sanctions for those that will have committed the offense. But now there is for those that will actually fund. We want to Akwalesa. I don't think that Dr. Kaunda felt that this is a country we should create. I don't think that Harry Mwanga Nkumbula, this is a country envisioned. I don't think that Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe thought that this is a country we can have. For Dr. Chilwa, he must be turning in his grave. A man that brought about champion of democracy is called the father of democracy in Africa because Zambia was the first one to become democratic after all these one party and coup d'etats, military leaders across Africa. Zambia was the first one to return to multi-party democracy. That's why Dr. Chilwa is called a father of democracy. I don't think he envisioned in one day that our country can have laws with these far-reaching provisions that shut down democracy, that shut down freedom of expression, that criminalizes even what I am saying. This can easily, if you look at the provisions, what I'm saying can easily be categorized as terrorism because they'll just say you've alarmed the nation. They'll just say you've peddled falsehood and therefore it's terrorism. You are proliferating terrorism. The other provisions where they've criminalized speech, where they are saying that if you say anything that will endanger life, physical integrity, or cause serious injury may cause serious injury to a person, that is terrorism. That if you say words that may intimidate government or the president, Fidamulandat, wachabe. If anyone, a prosecutor can say you intimidated the president by your words, they will say you've intimidated the president. That becomes terrorism. If you put fear in government or the president, they will say that's terrorism. If you force, you coerce, or you induce the government or a body or an institution or a public body or any segment of public body, and if they complain that your act has threatened them, if, for example, I expose corruption at ZRI can say, no, Mwamba has threatened us by this expose. We are not safe because people think we are all thieves. Terrorism for life. Today I discussed the helicopter that the president bought, a helicopter, and I showed the video. That's terrorism, and I can go in for life for discussing that, for making disclosures about matters that are in government. If I do any act to disrupt public service, if I conduct a protestation, a demonstration, traffic is hindered for some way, for life, you go in for life, because that's terrorism. If you disrupt any public service, what's public service? For example, you're protesting, banks close, the passport office closes, traffic is halted. That is terrorism. If you create general insurrection to the public or speak to that, terrorism. So if you say we are going to demonstrate, I'm calling upon Zambians to join me, terrorism. It's no longer a Public Order Act infringement. Now it has become under terrorism. If you threaten diplomats and internationally protected persons, that's terrorism. That's understood. Another matter, as provide, and you know these bills are lapping and overlapping. Your communication can be through a WhatsApp, through Facebook, through any other communication that is electronic. And the state have authority to come and seize all your gadgets and associated gadgets as they are investigating this matter. So if I sent you a text and the authorities have deemed that WhatsApp to you that it is an act of terrorism, they can come and seize your communication infrastructure as well. And this has also been repeated in the cyber security and cyber crimes. The two cyber crimes have also provided for those draconian provision for law enforcement agencies to literally walk in your house and grab your communication infrastructure because they believe Emmanuel Mwamba sent you a WhatsApp statement or thing that they have categorized as terrorism. So the crimes I've just discussed under Anti-Terrorism and Non-Proliferation Amendment Bill of 2024 that President Hakainde is about to assent or has already assented are calling for sanctions minimum 5 years, 20 years, and maximum life, depending on the gravity of the matters that I've just discussed. The Cyber Crimes Bill of 2024, remember there was an uproar when these two bills came. And we're sleeping. We didn't pay attention to the other bills. Because ngawalolesha ti ya CCTV, we thought it's just about CCTV. Walolesha ti NGO bill, we thought fia NGO. Ngawalolesha ya Terrorism and Non-Proliferation of Terrorism Act, we thought fia terrorism. We are not terrorists in Zambia. We had no idea of these provisions. My casual search revealed just what I'm discussing with you. And I'm challenging you, as we are discussing, go to the website of National Assembly, Parliament. They are listed. All these bills are listed. Quickly, before they delete or remove them, download them. Have a copy on your phone. Have a copy on your computer, so then that you can then speak about these issues very well. The Cyber Crimes Bill of 2024. It has of course, categorize offenses related to computers and computer systems. And, you know, the purpose of cyber crimes and cybersecurity, as we pass them at the UN and as we pass them at the African Union, was to, you know, regulate the cyberspace and essentially go to protect children, go to protect, you know, to stop human trafficking and stop cyber crimes and provide cybersecurity to especially government infrastructure that were being hacked, where databases were then being taken away and being sold. Private information, for example, at the passport office, someone, if you are computerized, can go in there, get it and hack into the entire system, or they can go into public information at Ministry of Finance. Those are the legitimate provisions of the cyber crimes bill and cybersecurity bill, to provide first cybersecurity to the cyberspace and the infrastructure that government, cyber information and infrastructure that government has. And for the cyber crimes bill was to stop scammers who are scamming people every day, to protect children that they are not available for pornographic material and other harmful material. That is the purpose of these laws, not under President Hakainde Hichilema. Again, they've imported issues of speech to shut down speech in Zambia, to shut down freedom of expression, to bring them under the Cyber Crimes Bill of 2024. The idea was, of course, child online protection, but it is not. Here, they are just prohibiting literally everything. First, you can't access computers, you can't publish materials that is not yours. So this material they leak to us, whistleblowers give us. Look, they've given a tender, ZESCO has given a tender of $110 million. Mwamba, here is a copy, and I publish. That is now a cyber crime, because they will accuse me of having accessed computer systems at ZESCO. Even if I'm a whistleblower, I'm alerting Zambians that Mobantu Wakwalesa, they are doing this tender without public information. They are doing it secretly. And they are committing $110 million to import 60,000 electric poor. That communication I'll have published on my page, who, according to this law, is that I will have committed a cyber crime. And the sanctions is, first of all, they have a right to come to me, or whoever I communicated to. They can seize all my computer and related devices where they think that this communication can be done. They can seize these assets in the so-called course of investigations, and they can seize any other related device if I communicated to anyone. If I sent to a WhatsApp group and I told you that Monenwa ZESCO vale $110 million, they can come for whoever then distributed that copy. You'll have committed that crime. So public information, you know, that information in government that are secret, confidential, or just public communication in government has all been outlawed. You cannot have access to that, even if you are a whistleblower. It's now a cyber crime. You cannot disclose that data, you'll be liable. You cannot possess that data, you'll be liable. And any disclosure, like I said, has been prohibited, and you can be prosecuted because it becomes unlawful disclosure from documents not authorized, not properly accessed. So whatever you are doing becomes, if it's not been published, becomes a cyber crime. And then there's what they've categorized as critical information and critical infrastructure. So all communication under government has become secret by this law. You cannot access it. Even if you accessed it, if you disclose it, you utter it, you distribute it, it becomes a crime. All government information has become critical information and critical infrastructure. They can search and seize, like I said, and it's now a really serious offense for anyone to possess what they're calling critical information or anything related to critical infrastructure. Then there's something that I found very, very strange about WhatsApp and WhatsApp communications. If you delete a WhatsApp message that law enforcement agencies are interested in, that's an offense. You can go in for 5 years. If you record private conversations, we've seen a proliferation of conversations. People call, and there are people that have a habit. Even me as a journalist, I've never had the habit of recording. I like note-taking or just listening. I never carry any recording. But there are many people, you've seen these audios become exposed as scandals because people just want to protect themselves or want to act as whistleblowers when they see a crime is being done. They want to record. Those recordings of private conversations are now a crime, serious crime, 5 years. If you delete a message that the law enforcement agencies are interested in, why I will let you know about madam watch that delete. I wish you had to watch to my message before you delete the message, but you don't want your wife or your partner to see the other messages that your partner may be interested in. You delete everything. You're going in for 5 years because the law enforcement agency can come and say, you received this data or you communicated this data. And you said, I don't have it on my phone. They say, no, but we have the communication trail. 5 years. Then, Fidatu Chitati, sources say, the media think they're exempted. All these affect the media. They think it affects other people, it doesn't affect us. All these issues affect the media. And the media have been very quiet, thinking that they are exempt. Let me give you an example here. Any investigation that law enforcement agencies are doing, and it's the police, it's the officers that leak this to us to say, Minister Sylvia Masewo to them, which investigate akuposela, now watch to publish crime, 10 years, 20 years. So the media will no longer act as whistleblowers because the media act as a watchdog against a state. And there are a lot of, especially when they are looting the treasury, that whistleblowers emerge everywhere. Or if there's an investigation, it might involve people from State House who are very powerful, very, very extremely powerful, and they can determine to shut down an investigation at ACC or DEC. But to protect themselves, you find that such information may be sent to news diggers or to Emmanuel Mwamba or to the mast. That has become a serious crime to publish anything that is under investigations. Then these were my concerns. Like I said, the authorities under any warrant from court can come and enter your premises. They can search and seize your computers. They can seize any other electronic device. They can access data, information to extended devices. So if there are people you communicated for in the WhatsApp group or on Facebook, using this warrant, they can come for you and demand that they obtain the evidence. Then they can seize these computers and phones and iPads, laptops. They can seize them in their course of investigation. And they don't have to tell you when they can bring them back. And sadly, like I said, third parties, if I sent a message to you, they're investigating me, they can come and seize your computers or your device or your laptop or iPad that received that communication. The last one, the Cyber Security Bill 29 of 2024. It's intended to set up the Cyber Security Agency, and it's setting up what they are calling the Zambia Cyber Incident Response Team, and it's provided for its function. The Zambia Cyber Incident Response Team. Remember what I was saying? The purpose of cybersecurity was to stop hackers, to stop scammers, to stop people that might infect devices or steal data. That was the purpose of these laws, how the UN and AU and others provided them for. President Hakainde Hichilema is using them for issues of freedom of speech, speech offenses. That's what he's using them for. So the Zambia Cyber Incidents Response Team will be a permanent team that can then report. Yo mwambana tumef, they can come in. Then there will be a central monitoring and coordination center to coordinate all these fights, all these, whether they're under anti-terrorism, remember what I was talking about, NGO, where they are anywhere, there's a command center that is being set up for cybersecurity, cybersecurity and cyber crimes, anti-cyber crimes. Like I said, they've gone to a large extent to define what critical information and critical infrastructure is. So they are outlawing any information. You cannot publish any information related to, number one, the defense and security. You cannot publish that information. Information relating to the public sector. Now, the public sector is broad. It involves all ministries, all government departments, all provincial and district offices, local government offices. It also involved state-owned enterprises and agencies. That's a public sector. It's very large. They're outlawing access to unauthorized use, publication, disclosure of information, of critical information from these sectors. Banking and finance, I don't know what the interest is there, but anything related to the health sector, transport sector, and pension and insurance. Feeedom ambashta publish if you have a half-life and nabashta, but building society nabashta building you have a half-life. All these now have become critical information and they can be prosecuted. Information relating to energy, to the education sector, to mining, to Ariko mining. We are demanding how much are we earning? Why are they doing this? You no longer, the cadastre, they keep on changing licenses there. You no longer can publish that information without authority. And any other that the agency, the cybersecurity agency may determine to be critical, they can just wake up and say, hey, this information is now critical information. You can't publish it. No media can publish it. No any other entity can publish it. They've also provided for how this information now will be collated, and hosted at central level. It is also defined. Remember, the American Business Chamber of Commerce complained that these laws are so far-reaching that they'll threaten investment in our country. Sorry, let me just get this agent message. So that okay, thank you very much. The U.S. Trade Organization, the Business Coalition for companies doing business in America and in Zambia, issued a red alert and appealed to President Hakainde Hichilema not to assent to these bills. They stated that these bills are threatening the business environment in Zambia. And if these laws are passed, that the business environment in this country will become immediately hostile. Well, the hosting of critical and critical infrastructure information extends to private businesses. This agency can come and demand that in public interest, we want to know what you do, disclose to us what you have. They can say maybe it's for tax purposes, but you have ZRI that has provided for that audit. But these are cyber audits that they can do on any nature of business in our country. Then there are new powers that have been given to these investigator cybersecurity officers. Because currently we are using the Zambia police and ad hoc laws of how to investigate cybercrime since they are new offenses. So they've now provided for powers for these cybersecurity officers. And there's something that alarmed me, that law enforcement agencies can enter your premises. They can install monitoring devices on your computers and computer systems. So they can come and leave in your phone an application or in your laptop an application, and security officers don't have to come to your home. What they are saying now, they are providing for how your computer system can be hacked by the agency from the center. So they are literally, in layman terms, they are coming into your home, hacking your computer, and begin to see you. They can hack the TV. While you are watching the TV, they are watching you. Because these are smart TVs. They are connected to your Wi-Fi. So I can hack into your TV and begin to see what you are doing. I can hack into your laptop. I can hack into your computer. There is a software that is doing that already. It's been published and publicly defined across the world, and the company that is producing this, NCS, is in trouble across the world as civil society are suing it. Zambia Security Intelligence Service and the DEC Anti-Money Laundering Unit have these capacities called Pegasus. It's a software that's doing exactly what I'm telling you. It can hack into your smart TV. It can hack into your WhatsApp. They don't have to seize your phone. The Pegasus software can come in your phone, listening to your conversation, listening to your communication. And another matter that alarmed me is that these interceptive devices can also be set in your neighbors. So if Emmanuel Mwamba is a person of interest, my neighbors are obliged to agree with law enforcement agencies to put what they are calling interceptive devices, meaning they can put CCTV watching my home. The neighbors will commit a crime if they told me, but they are obliged by this law to give the law enforcement agencies and the cyber security officers access to my home or my house. The providers of my communications. So if it is MTN, Airtel, Zamtel, or Z Mobile, they are obliged by just a warrant to allow the authorities to create a parallel account. I will think I'm communicating with my wife, but I am actually communicating to an officer at the center. So it has provided for parallel accounts to be opened. You think you are sending an SMS to your to any person. They have a right to create a parallel account, and they are receiving your communications. So this is what the Pegasus software has been doing since 2014. And since it's being sued, the providers are being sued in Canada, in the US, in Europe, and they're outlawing this invasive technology. NCS has said, if you want, because this software is now under renewal, it has been in Zambia for 10 years, it's being renewed. So NCS has said, no, everything we've been doing is illegal. Hacking your TV to watch what your opponents are, hacking their phones, listening to their conversation, it's illegal. If we are sued, we'll pay millions of dollars. We're already paying millions of dollars in Canada, in the US, and everywhere else. Even WhatsApp has taken concern and participated in the legal suit because it's their software that was being hacked, and it's one of the most popular software. Facebook, most popular infrastructure across the world. So they are being sued. So they've said, no, provide for these laws. This is what we do. We can hack into anyone's laptop. We can hack into anyone's smart TV. We can hack into any notebook, any phone, but provide the law for it. This is a reason there are these extensive laws where even my neighbors are obliged to hand over this information. And of course, they are saying, this is what I was talking about, that they can order any mobile companies and any electronic service provider, such as Liquid Telecom. They can go to Liquid Telecom or any provider of electronic service and infect a software that can then target my Wi-Fi. So as soon as I switch on my Wi-Fi, the security officers are in my house literally. Because when they're in my Wi-Fi, they can then hack any device that is connected to that Wi-Fi. So if I'm watching Netflix on my TV, they can hack that. If I'm communicating with my phone on my Wi-Fi, Liquid Telecom, Zamtel, MTN, and others are obliged to give them that. And remember what I said, that they can route a duplicate signal to the communication center. So if they are interested in Emmanuel, they'll create a parallel of whoever Emmanuel communicates with. And every time I send a message and I receive a message, parallel, they will have an officer monitoring my entire. They will have a parallel phone. You know, they will mirror my phone. They will duplicate my phone. And now this is being provided for by law, that it will route a duplicate signal to the communication center. And they also can create a duplicate signal again to reroute it to the center. The duplicate signal is that Wi-Fi you are using. So they can then create a duplicate one. You think you are logging into your Wi-Fi. Kanshi, you are logging into your Wi-Fi. And they open you up. We want to call Lesa. Let's talk. I'm opening the phone lines. Let me hear you.
They even insulted God. But Moses believed in God. Probably this is also a moment of time when we are going through trials and tribulations or difficulties in our own societies, in our own country, in our own homes, to believe more in God and to trust in God, that God will do it for us. Probably some of us are wondering that those people we voted in power, they have turned against us. They are speaking against us. They have gone against us. But who put them in power in the first place? It is God, because God is the creator of all of us. God has created us, and God has given us, and the authority comes from God. Why don't we believe in God? That the same God who put them in power, he will remove them, whatever happens. So my word of consolation to you and to everyone is that God will do it for us. We should believe in him. That is why in our churches there is always a Jesus who is crucified on the cross. There, where he is crucified, our source of hope, our source of consolation, our liberator. He is the one who saves us, and he will save us again. He will do it for us. We shouldn't worry, but believe and pray. And go back to him and say, dear Lord, the people you gave us, to lead us, to rule us, have turned against you. They have sinned against you. May you set us free. May you liberate us. He will set us free. He will liberate us the way he liberated the children of Israel. I wonder why there's all this agitation, all this fear. Fear of what? Believe in God. We should believe in God. He will do it for you and he will do it for me. That is why it requires faith. Let us have faith in God. The one we come to receive every day in the Blessed Eucharist, who is present. He will do it for you, and he will do it for us.
I forgot another thing. Now this word, I think I'm going to address it to my bishops. I call both my bishops because I belong to the Ndola Diocese, so Bishop Piri, and also Lusaka Diocese, Archbishop Banda. So to Archbishop Pili and Archbishop Banda. This is the Catechism of the Catholic Church, this one. Okay, this is Catechism of the Catholic Church. Now, in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, when we are celebrating the Requiem Mass, we do the profession of faith. The congregation at a certain time does the profession of faith. And in the celebration, we also give the faithful the Holy Communion. My Lordship, Bishop Piri and Bishop Banda, you know very well that the Holy Communion, if one is not in communion, fully communion, we cannot receive the Holy Communion. The Catholic Church is not in full communion with the Anglican Church. That is the Second Vatican Council statement. If we are not in full communion with the Anglican Church, how can you go and celebrate the Eucharist in an Anglican church? On which table are you going to bless the Eucharist? How do you give the Holy Communion in an Anglican church? Please, bakangwa badorisi mwamba bamutati muli bakatolika, help the readers, please, please.
How are you?
I'm very well, Mr.
I
President.
sucked a lot of dust yesterday. I went around.
I saw.
Yes, you're okay.
I'm very well. Yourself?
How are you?
Welcome
Okay.
back. Good.
Other than sleep a bit.
Yeah, it was a good tour you did all these
Yes,
days.
yes.
I hope you saw all the things that needed to be done there.
Still we are done 30 years ago. You know what those guys did? That went up. They went from the end of create process. Do something here, leave it, take out $100 million, $200 million.
Like the hostels, nothing was completed.
That's what we're doing now. The money was taken out. South and lower rate, we paid $30 million. Not even a nickel.
What about that university in Lopula? FTJ, yeah.
$32 million.
Well, not even one.
So this project was funded.
Good evening once again. We are discussing the various bills that will impact our democracy and our freedoms and rights negatively, that will literally shut down free speech in our country. I'm opening the phone lines. The number to call us is 0973 078082. There's a gentleman from Nchelenge who has sent this message. Ambassador in Nchelenge, Luapula province, the police have beaten a suspect to death. The suspect was, came to fix tiles at a house. He came from Mansa. The owner discovered that the tiles were not enough and accused the tile gentleman as having stolen certain boxes. So he called the police, who came to the house where the worker was sleeping, and they beat him to death. Then they took him and locked him up in the cell to pretend that he's been beaten by suspects. Please, Ambassador, follow this up. A worker has been beaten to death in Nchelenge. Thank you for writing to us. I think I will follow that up. It's a very serious matter. Yeah, please call. The number is on. Make your contributions quickly. Today we want to make a short broadcast. It was a technical matter we needed to discuss the issues and alert the country about these new laws. And it's very important that we publish this. Please call, make your call. Oh, the calls are just coming cut. Why? I may need to check why this phone just cuts. Please call. I'm looking at the phone. I'll not look elsewhere so that I pick your call. They're just coming as missed calls. I don't know. Is it my settings or what? So as I was stating, we were discussing the Non-Governmental Bill of 2025, which is setting up the Zambia non-governmental organization, an umbrella body that will regulate, so-called self-regulate these NGOs. We're discussing the closed circuit television public protection bill of 2025. +61, this must be from where? Okay, there's another caller. Good evening, please tell us where you're calling us from.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Mwamba. I'm calling you from Olympia.
Okay, thank you. Make your contributions. Your name and make your contributions.
Okay. My name is Brian, and I want my contribution is centered on the cyber crimes bill that you alluded to in your brief. Listening to what you are explaining about the newly passed cyber crimes, I couldn't help but went ahead to sign the bill. Analyze what you are explaining on the cyber crimes bill. It defeats the purpose of access to information, because idea that bill was signed into law so that people can have access to information that they'll need from government and various places. Now, even before this bill is operationalized, you sign in a cyber security bill that criminalizes publishing of information like you had explaining. For me, I feel like this new bill that the president is about to sign defeats the purpose of the cyber, of the access to information, unless government can come clean and explain how they intend to make this access to information bill functional in light of this cyber bill that they want to assent into law. So this is a very retroactive bill. I don't know if there are lawyers that can challenge the process in courts of law. I think I've heard or read somewhere where even if a bill goes through parliament, as long as it contravenes the fundamental rights that are enshrined in the constitution for citizens, the courts are able to overturn such bills. Maybe at this point we need to be considering going that route. That is my contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. We are discussing the raft of new bills that have been passed that will have negative, adverse impact on our democracy, on our freedom of expression, right to association, the role of civil society in Zambia. There are all these bills that have been passed. I mentioned the ones I came across and I thought they impact one another. And then the provisions that have been put in the Anti-Terrorism and Non-proliferation bill, those totally alarmed me, where speech offenses have now become terrorism, and that means they can nab you and send you for life for something they'll categorize as terrorism. Make your call, make your contributions. Today we want to keep it short. we want you to listen to it later and go by it. And I've advised that you can go to the National Assembly website and download the bills that we've talked about. Don't say Emmanuel Mwamba is propagating lies. Just download and read for yourself the provisions, the far-reaching implication of those provisions. Make your call, make your call.
Yes, Madam President, you are again here at the court. Maybe just can shortly brief us what has transpired.
Well, there was a witness, a state witness on the stand, the supposed abductee. And
good evening. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello. Please switch off your device, and make your contribution. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yes, Ambassador Mwamba, it's Chilufya Patrick.
Oh, Mr. Chilufya from UK, once again. My dear brother, make your contributions.
Yeah, today I'll be quick. Last time I was so emotional, but this is even more emotional.
Oh, you ought to be emotional about our country. Things that are happening are not normal.
Yeah, because this is unbelievable. From listening to what you're saying, all this is about control, you know, and it's not about anything. It's just about to control people, to make people not to talk. And to me, leadership is not about power or control. Leadership is about empowering others. Leadership is about giving fundamental freedoms to your people. And I think, Mwamba, we are in a de facto, because this is to control everybody, including political parties, including the media, the third estate. So in essence, we are going to be in a de facto, if not, we are already in a de facto one-party system. And for those people who don't know what is a de facto one-party system, it's a system that, while not officially linking a single political party to governmental power, utilizes some means of political manipulation to ensure only one party stays in power. So this is what is exactly happening. It's not about protecting anybody. It's about one party trying to perpetuate to stay in power. I don't know, Mwamba, if you've seen I think a month ago or so, Mr. Mosquito, you know him, the youth chairman of the UPND.
Yes, my young brother Gilbert Liswaniso.
Yes, he was I was so scared. He was interviewed on one of the private television station, I think it was Oxygen, where he said they are not sleeping as UPND. And he went on to say the opposition because HH is winning 2026. It is also winning
2031, 2036, and you can only think about 2041.
2041.
Yeah.
So, Mwamba, if you link that to what Makateka has been saying at Icon at Wakafunye Pampando. So if you link the two, the Bible says there is a chapter in the Bible. A lot of Zambians need to know. There is a chapter in the Bible which says that whatever somebody says is what he's thinking in his mind. I've just forgotten what he says.
Yeah, the abundance of heart. It exposes what is the abundance of heart.
Liswaniso was telling the truth. And this is why all these laws are being, they're not just in vacuum. All these laws are getting to that point whereby a lot of people will be arrested. A lot of political party leaders will be arrested. And then there will be a point where Zambians will be so quiet that they won't be saying anything. But the most important thing about Mwamba is Chiluba didn't make a mistake to declare Zambia as a Christian nation.
No.
So God is actually watching our country. We might go into the wilderness for a certain period, but for sure we're going to go to the promised land. Nothing is permanent on this world.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank you very much. That was Patrick from UK. Sorry, I missed a lot of other calls. We are discussing these bills and their impact on democracy and their impact on freedom of expression, their impact on Zambia being a democratic country. You have an opportunity to download these bills. They are listed on the National Assembly website. Quickly download them, have a copy, and verify what I was telling you. Check for yourself. You are even going to find more dangerous provisions than even the matters I probably discussed. I can see Mr. Mkosa is calling. Mr. Mkosa, please call again. Mr. Mkosa belongs to the UPND and he usually gives good contrary views. You are welcome. Please call, Mr. Mkosa. I can see you are calling so that we can hear your side of the view. We're discussing these 5 bills that have been passed and will become law. We are mourning Honorable Edith Nawakwi. Please, Mr. Mkosa, call. She'll be put to rest tomorrow.
He gave his version of what he thought he could come up with, and those who were in court have their own comments to make. It is very clear that this is an orchestrated attempt by Hakainde Hichilema to wash his dirt on me. I have emphasized time and again that sometimes when you tell a lie, you have to cover it. The challenge that they have as a state is to turn something that is straightforward, that these people were in the custody of UPND. In fact, on court record, Milton himself says he was with Margareta. And all of us know that Margareta was a security officer for Hakainde Hichilema. Only one person stood to benefit from hiding these people.
Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
I'm calling you from within Lusaka.
Thank you. Please tell us your name.
Yes. I'm not able to tell you my name.
That's fine. If you wish to remain anonymous, that's fine. Make your contributions.
Yes. I won't contribute on today's topic, but I'm just from reading or watching this lady, must be from over the sea, was talking about the transfer of shares by this man called Valentine Chital, who also are suspected to be the associate of the president. Now I want you, because I like your analysis. Since that rate was speaking fast. I think if you take that analysis, or you take those documents from her, then you explain to the people so that people can able to know what is happening with the government.
Okay. Thank you very much, my brother. I would just like to alert you that you can watch our previous program. We spent a lot of time discussing the corruption under President Hakainde Hichilema, and we dealt with the issues of Mopani extensively. Maybe watch that program, but if there is need for us to go back, we'll still go back, because these are matters of public interest.
It's not only about Mopani, there are different things. She has something that even the SEC is aware of.
Yes.
But it's only that those things are being covered.
Yes. Yes. No, please watch the other program. We had discussed everything under Mopani, Jubilee Metals. We discussed a whole lot. But if you still think that there's an opportunity to go back to this issue, I will oblige. I have no problem.
Oh, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, he's still talking. I'm sorry. I want to read this message. Ambassador Mwamba, doesn't it raise concern that both public and private CCTV footage and other private data now can be accessed at will by the state, while there is no public access to records of all arrivals and departures from Community House, whether by road or through special helipad? Shouldn't the state have enacted the bill that ensures the preservation of all records related to meetings held at State House and at the real State House, Community House and State House, which is, Community House? I think this relates to what the American does. The American government records all meetings of the president 24 hours. All meetings have to be recorded. All phone calls by the president are recorded. That's why they can play back. If the president is speaking with foreign dignitaries, they record. It's very important that, the president is a public property and that is protected by various experts. And even for issues of crime, in the event that things were wrong, they've records to the period and duration is president. They've an entire record of what he said, who he met, where he met such a person. I think this is what this scholar is trying to provide for, that we should also compare that the state make record of who does the president meet at Community House. At State House, at least there's some form of record because someone will be cleared at the gate. But do you have the same opportunity as a state if the man lives at a private home, his own home at Community House, yet he does state business there? Remember, one of the reasons Donald Trump was indicted was that he took communication from White House and it was found in his home. How much communication has President Hakainde Hichilema taken to his home? Because he literally works from Community House. Okay, move on to Akwalesa. Today I don't want to stay long. I just said I'll do it 1 hour, 30 minutes. And let's begin to close the program. We'll close with these remarks by our priest, who has warned government that it's our God is the one that puts and establishes and appoints and promotes these leaders. Fortunately and unfortunately, it's the same God that removes them. So, hearken not, don't give up yet. The Lord knows what he is doing.
They even insulted God, but Moses believed in God. Probably this is also a moment of time when we are going through trials and tribulations or difficulties in our own societies, in our own country, in our own homes, to believe more in God and to trust in God that God will do it for us. Probably some of us are wondering that those people we voted in power, they have turned against us. They are speaking against us. They have gone against us. But who put them in power in the first place? It is God, because God is the creator of all of us. God has created us and God has given us, and the authority comes from God. Why don't we believe in God? That the same God who put them in power, he will remove them, whatever happens. So my word of consolation to you and to everyone is that God will do it for us. We should believe in him. That is why in our churches there is always a Jesus who is crucified on the cross there. Where he is crucified, our source of hope, our source of consolation, our liberator. He is the one who saves us, and he will save us again. He will do it for us. We shouldn't worry, but believe and pray. And go back to him and say, dear Lord, the people you gave us to lead us, to rule us, have turned against you. They have sinned against you. May you set us free. May you liberate us. He will set us free. He will liberate us the way he liberated the children of Israel. I wonder why there's all this agitation, all this fear. Fear of what? Believe in God. We should believe in God. He will do it for you and He will do it for me. That is why it requires faith. Let us have faith in God, the one we come to receive every day in the Blessed Eucharist, who is present. He will do it for you and He will do it for us.
Thank you. Let us close. This is a Zambia that I think we all want. The national anthem tells us that we should stand and sing of a Zambia that is proud, that is free. A country ruled by instilling fear is not a land of the free. It's not a country that is safe, peaceful, or secure. We want a country that is admired, not feared. We want a country that is that our forefathers and foremothers dreamt of. A country that Harry Mwanga Nkumbula hoped for. A country that Kenneth Kaunda prayed for. A country that Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe wished for. A country that over the decades and over the centuries, Zambians have fought for. When they formed the first Welfare Association in 1912, when we had the first industrial strike and industrial union in 1935, when we formed the first political party in 1948 and an organized trade union, when we fought against the Federation of Northern Rhodesia, Southern Rhodesia, and Nyasaland between 1953 and 1963, when we obtained independence in 1964, when many people opposed the introduction of the one-party state in 1973, and the epochs of 1991, 2011, and 2021, where our opposition candidate won elections, the will of the people was respected, and the incumbents gave up power peacefully. A country that our faith leaders stand united in prayer for. A country that our people have rallied and fought for. A Zambia owned by its people under the guidance of God the Almighty and under the lordship of our Lord Jesus Christ. A country not yoked to tyranny, not to those that think that they are kings or emperors or Herods over us. Our country is endowed with natural resources, natural wealth. We are among the wealthiest countries in the world, yet our people are poor. We still have wildlife in its natural and wild sanctuaries. We have magical waterfalls. We have a friendly people that admire peace, that want to keep our country at peace, and an enviable heritage. We desire a country where it is possible to be prosperous, even if you were born in the village, you were born in a compound, or you were born in a township or city. Your past should not hinder your future. That is a country we want. That it is possible if we can craft an education system that gives knowledge, that empowers our people, and that gives you life and survival skills, that you can survive with your education even without formal employment. This is only possible if we provide for an economy that gives opportunities to the educated, less educated, the skilled and the unskilled. We want an economy that rewards entrepreneurship and innovations. An economy that is in the hands of Zambians, not in foreign hands and foreign multinationals. We want a country that rewards hard work. If you work hard, it should not matter where you're from. The hard work must pay, and you must not suffer. And it should not limit, where you are going. We want a Zambia where housing is decent, where jobs are decent and can earn you a living wage. We want a country, that our forefathers admired. God bless our country. God bless our people. God save whoever is messing with Zambia. Good night. Shalom, shalom. We'll see you later.